Welcome to the African Grassroots Show brought to you by Ronnie Media. I am your host, Ronnie, and today we are on episode 10. Joining me on the program is Valentino, one of the youngsters who used to train with Aztec FC. Valentino, how are you?
I'm good, and you, sir.
Welcome to the program.
Appreciate it.
Can you please tell the viewers who is Valentino, how old are you, where do you stay, how did you become a soccer player, and now you are into sports analysis, reporting, presenting. Can you please share your journey with the viewers?
My name is Valentino Tashu, and I'm 15 years old, and I live in Third Street. Um, so I was into football, and my love for football started when I was 13 years old. I just saw something in football that like really made me happy and like really that comforted me. It was more of like it was just this one player that I saw that and I think for everyone that plays football they could also relate, because not everyone but some people, because the first day when I started like watching football, the first few clips were like of Cristiano Ronaldo, and it was just this thing that he had that I was like just so obsessed with, and then I was like, oh, I was want to play football, until some point in time, and then I got interested in like doing sports analyst. I started like analyzing games, matches that like were played like long time ago, and I just like used to rewatch over and over and see how the games played and all that stuff, and also into reporting and all that stuff. So that's where my passion grew for this type of thing. Yeah.
Now that you mention Cristiano Ronaldo is your, I don't even say it is your role model.
Yes.
I don't think we're gonna get along so well during this interview because I love Messi. So now you you're talking of Cristiano Ronaldo,
Yeah.
but anyway, okay. Can you explain more as to when you were during those days when you were playing, and how was it? Were you enjoying? How was the coaches, the friends, and then how was life back then? And what made you to transition from playing and to reporting now that you're doing sports analysis and reporting?
It was a really good time, playing football. I mean, I used to play as a mostly as a center back or as a full back, which I didn't really enjoy because I wasn't so good at really defending and keeping possession, or I was really just a type of player that I was very energetic, and in those type of positions you're supposed to be calm, relaxed, and me, I was the type of person that always wanted to run out the wing or come back, collect the ball and score. That was the type of person I am. I love scoring goal, and for me it was just like a downgrade. So, and I was like, no, it's like the people are disrespecting me. So, and then I just started falling in love with, um, there was this one time I was watching this video on like how Manchester United dominated the game against Man City using a certain formation and all that stuff, to triangles and stuff. I just fell in love with that type of thing. How to analyze the game with this type of formation, how to play the ball and that and that, and that's where it really grew, and like I started realizing that I stopped playing football and I was just getting more into this analyzing thing and all that stuff. Yeah. So that's how it all began.
So you mentioned that you love to play as a winger, or you love to score goals.
Yes.
Yet the coach played you as a center back or right full back.
Yes.
Did you at some point try to reason or try to talk to the coach to say, Coach, this is what is happening? My strength is on this position. Can you perhaps maybe look in that way and try to put me there?
I did that various times, but it was just a thing of the how can I say, the coaches really didn't like, they really favored other players beside me, because there were certain times where they didn't think that I was good enough for that
Mm.
type of thing, because I was very bad playing as a center back. I couldn't, I was so bad. I couldn't defend for anything,
Mm.
and I really started saying, I really can't play this position. I really feel uncomfortable playing here, so I really wanna, play up front really more, and
Mm.
because I know how to score goals and I'm good at scoring goals.
Mm.
And then at some point, it just didn't work out. So I was like, okay.
So now, are you saying coaches sometimes are the ones to be blamed uh, when players reach a point where they say, "I would rather quit playing football," or you know what, let me not go for training because of the coach. Are the coaches contribute towards the players to end up leaving the club or stop playing soccer?
In most cases, yes. I mean, if you take it in a way as if like maybe you go for a certain training session and then you prove your point, or maybe in that position you're playing, maybe you play as a center back. So
Mm.
then you run all the way with the ball, you score, and you score a goal, and maybe that's not enough for you. So
Mm.
if you can see that you try your best, you try your hardest, and you can see that's not enough for you, then he's the one to blame, right? And sometimes it's also your responsibility. Sometimes if you really say that, oh no, I want to play in this position, you have to show that you want to play in the position. Because most of the time people say, oh, my coach doesn't love me, my coach doesn't want me to play in this position. Most of the time, he wouldn't want you to play in the position because you're playing bad. And
Mm.
when he makes you play in that position, you're even playing worse than the normal position you're playing. So you should show him that, oh no, I can actually play in this position. And if you don't, then it's not his fault. But if you can and he still says no, then he's the one who's to blame. So it's like a 50-50.
Mm. Don't you think the coach maybe was trying not to you know to do something? Was he was what you call experimenting something? That's why maybe you guys, you were supposed to sit down with the coach and say, you know what, coach, this is what is happening. I'm not good enough in this position. Can you at least maybe he was trying to experiment something?
Yeah, in most cases, yes. Because many coaches would do that. I mean, I know this is really something that happened a long time ago, but if you take a look at the former right wing of Real Madrid, Gareth Bale, he used to play as a left back, and at one point in time, the coach saw that like he was a very fast player. He was really quick on the wing, so he decided, oh, you know what, you're gonna play as a right wing. And then from there, because of the experimenting, there was many players that were experimented and they played in different positions,
And
like
it worked well.
yeah. And also there's many names like Alvaro Caceres, who plays for Real Madrid currently. He was a striker
Mm.
in Benfica, but then they moved him to a fullback because they saw his defensive
That's right.
abilities. You see, so then they move him as a fullback. So many coaches do that, but sometimes it doesn't really work out. But sometimes it does work out.
That's right.
So yeah, so that's what I think.
So in your case, what is it that you want to say to some of the coaches? Well, some of the coaches, they doing it and they are going to keep on doing it. Yet they don't know that the players are angry or the players are upset. So what is it that you wanna share with the coaches so that they have check it out, say, hey, you know what, if I'm doing this, maybe I'm doing it wrong. How can I change it?
So my advice is that we should look at the player's strengths, especially maybe if the player is still new and he's still new in the club, you should look at the player's strengths, because focusing on his weaknesses doesn't help with anything. If you focus on his strengths and then get to the weaknesses, that's when he becomes a better player. Because when you focus on his strengths, you see, oh, maybe he has a good vision, he knows how to pass, but he's not really quick. You can focus on his stamina. You don't really necessarily have to focus on his passing, because you already know he's good at passing.
Mm.
So you should really start looking at the strengths and not the weaknesses, because most coaches like to say, oh, there's this weakness. They don't really look at the strengths. They look at the weakness first and say, oh yeah, we have to improve in this and this and this. But at first you have to take the strength and then you know look at it and be like, oh yeah, he can actually play here and here, and then later on in time you can help them develop with these weaknesses and all that stuff. Yeah, that's how I think coaches should do it, and put them in the right position where they are meant to play, and not in a position where they feel uncomfortable playing in. And even if there's a better player that's playing in the same position they want to play in,
Mm.
you can even put them as a substitute. It's nothing that personal, instead of making them play in a position that they don't even want to play in and they feel uncomfortable playing in.
So they have to balance it.
Yes, they have to balance it.
And then, so now that you are into sports analysis, reporting, don't you miss, play, uh, play soccer? And now standing on the touchline with the players, interviewing them or watching them, what does that make you feel? How do you feel when you?
No, I still do sometimes play football, but not really often because it's been like 3 weeks ever since I went to, training session. And I'd say when I see like, especially players, play matches, I really feel this type of pain and be like, that could have been me, that could have been me, and I still have a chance,
Mm,
but like maybe just maybe one day I could be there. You
mm,
know, maybe I can just focus on the sports analyst or focus on football. I mean, it's nothing even that bad. You can actually focus on both, but
mm,
it depends on which one you're really passionate more about
mm.
and the one that you really better in. So yeah,
Okay. And how do you balance school and sports?
school and sports. I mean, sports is like it's a very addictive thing. Especially football, it's very addictive, especially if you in a place where you always wanna get better. You're never satisfied with what you get, because I know there's many players that never get satisfied with at what they get, even if it's great or good, they still want more and more. So it really gets you addicted, and then on the school part you don't really focus that much. So that's why I like to, just the whole week just focus on school, and then maybe on a Saturday or Sunday, then you can really like, free yourself from all that. Maybe, play football with your friends or something, play a match. And then the following week you just go back to the same thing, because most players like to do it every day. And sometimes it gets unhealthy. Yeah.
And then our sports analysis and reporting, how is it so far? And where do you see yourself, say, 10 years from now?
10 years from now, it's actually a good question. I actually see myself as, you know, I don't know if you guys know Terry Henry, but like he does analysis on games, like especially in the Champions League and stuff. So I actually see myself in his position,
Mm,
maybe one day, maybe being like a former professional footballer, and then just continuing the football journey with sports analysis. Yeah,
mm,
that's where I see myself.
that's good. And now that Ronnie Media gave you the platform to grow, improve, and showcase yourself and learn, what is it that you want to say to I know out there are some other children who don't give such an opportunity to say, like for example, you say you wanna be like Terry, for the next 10 years to come, and now you've got an opportunity. There's an opportunity in front of you to learn and to improve, so that by the time you finish matric and even beyond matric, you can actually be who you want to be in the future. So, what do you want to say to other children your age who don't get such opportunities yet they are so talented?
Um, I just want to say, I know how that feels, when you really work hard and no one really realizes it. It's a very painful feeling, especially sometimes you can just sit alone and then there's so many thoughts in your head. You're like, "Shh, why is this not working out?" My advice to you is just like, it doesn't matter how painful or how tough it gets. You just have to keep on going.
Mm,
The you know you won't see the results until you stop. Because when you stop, that's when you're like, oh no, man, this was actually working out, but then I stopped.
mm,
So consistency is like the most important thing. So if you're like consistent in whatever you do, it's
mm,
always gonna work. It's 100% guaranteed it's gonna work. It doesn't matter what you're doing.
mm.
If you're just consistent, it's
It's
gonna
gonna
work.
work out.
Because when you stop, you're gonna see, hey, I was
There.
90% done with that thing.
Mm,
I only had 10% left, but then I stopped. And then you're gonna have to restart again. So if you just be consistent, then it'll work out. Because I also used to do that. I would like train for, let's say, the whole week, and then the following week I wouldn't train, but then I'd see like crazy results. I started getting, abs and all that stuff. I was like, where's this coming from? All of a sudden I stopped, then I had to restart again. So you just have to be consistent. So That's what I think you should do. Just be consistent, even when there's no one to see. Just be consistent whatever you're doing, and then eventually it's gonna work out.
And to your friends and other people out there, what can they expect to see from Valentino in the next coming days?
Next coming days,
Mm.
I'm not really sure actually. No, maybe some analysis on a game that will be played, maybe a Premier League game.
Mm.
Not actually quite sure, but yeah, maybe that.
In the league that you were playing in, the Lodium Football League, um, I see there are a lot of talented players, and some of them they don't end up getting the opportunities, to play professional football. What message do you want to send to like PSL, SAFA, or the big institutions, around the country or even around here in Africa? What they should do to improve the players and to give the opportunities these players? What message do you want to tell them?
That they should they should have scouts everywhere because there's a lot of talent in that league.
Mhm.
There's a lot of talent. You should have scouts that should come and watch the game because I feel like not too many attention is being given in certain places, not just in here, Lodium, like around the world. There's so many countries where, by like there's no like scouts and all that stuff. It's just football, and then you play, you go home, and even when you perform good, there's no. It's not like the people. Maybe your friends will talk about it the whole week, but then
Mm.
the world doesn't even know you. So, and I know many players want recognition. They want to be famous. They want to be like Messi, Neymar, all that stuff. So my advice is that you should just bring scouts to watch the games, and I'm telling you, when they watch those games, they're gonna be impressed. There's gonna be a lot of players that are gonna go professional. That's all I know. You should just have scouts everywhere. Mm.
Now we're coming to the end of our show. I'm sure because of time.
Mm.
Any message you wanna, tell your friends?
Friends,
Mm.
um, important message is that just don't give up on whatever you're doing. Because whatever you love, just do it with everything that you have, do it with everything you have, and even if it doesn't work out, just continue doing, because if you really love something, you do anything, you sacrifice for it, and you spend enough time with that thing. So if you really love that thing, you do anything for it. So you don't have any excuse to say that you can't do it, because if that dream was put into your mind and into your heart, then you have to achieve it no matter what.
Mm.
Yeah.
There you go, guys. Thank you for your time, my man, and hope to see you soon. You heard it for yourself, like this. I don't think I have some anything to add on because you said everything that I wanted to say.
Mm.
But I just want to encourage almost everyone, every young player out there, whether the boy, whether the girl, consistent, train hard, discipline. Because without discipline, you cannot go anywhere. You work hard, then have discipline. Listen to your coaches, listen to your uh, friends, your not friends exactly, but your teammates. Then you just be there for each other, support, and then it will work out. It will work out well, and hope to see you soon. Thank you guys for watching. How many minutes?